This is part 4 of the Bootstrap class exercise that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to pick up where we left off. Is that there's two types of containers with it, and the first class meaning starts out with the dot syntax is the container class, and I like for you to know this. I put TQ, and this is a test questions on here as well, and it provides a responsive fix with container, meaning it just loads your. What does that look like? What does that look like? So let me give you an example what that actually looks like. I can't do this on a text pad or notepad in here with it because it doesn't allow me to put graphics on here with it, as you can see. But I'm gonna pull up a Word document in this, a blank Word document in here with it, and I'll show you what that looks like if it's on a web page with it, and it looks like this. So here's your page, which is this gray border that you have here, and the dot container it fits inside your page. Now you're gonna tell it to basically it's a fix with container, so provides a responsive regardless of the size of the page. It's going to adjust based on, this is responsive right here, okay? It's going to adjust based on the size of the hardware with it. Whereas when you look at the other one that I just shared with you, is the dot class fluid class, dot container fluid in here. It's a little different. That one is gonna stretch across from left to right with it. So what does that look like with it? So let me show you what that looks like. And when you do this, and most people lose sight on what that actually looks like. So this is what it looks like. So as you can see, let me just make this a little bigger where you can see what the two difference of the classes, what it actually does with it. So here's your dot container. Let me stretch this out to if this is the same device that we're looking at. So it should be right about here with it. Can you see the difference between the two with it? One has a little bit more white space on the left and the right with it, and versus something that is dot fluid with it. So the other difference, like I said in here, is that it spans the entire width of the viewport. That's the container dash fluid. All right, you need to know both of these for me. You need to know both of these and what it looks like with it. Both of my test questions I need for you to know. All right, with it. Another note I want to point out is there's actually two basic Bootstrap pages that you're going to look with it as well. So we're going to start coding right now with it, and I'm going to show you how the pages look like and what it looks like from here with it as well. All right. So one is I'm going to do one with the container, the dot container, and the one with the fixed dot container with it as well. And you're going to see both of these things different in here as well. So we're going to just change that class when that happens with it. All right. Anyway, let's get started coding here. Enough talking here with it. Let me minimize this, and we're getting the code right now with it as well. So are we cool with the way how this is laid out? I'm going to tighten up the code a little bit, word wrap it, adjust this a little bit so we can see the whole and this layout 2.html. Make sure it's under a subdirectory. I don't care what you want to call it. I call it portfolio underscore layout 2, and that is a subdirectory of class project. So that's how I organize my file structure. If you're comfortable with the way how you have it, that's fine. Here's what I'd like for you to do. I gave you the CDN for this on the website, on the resource page with it, so you can copy and paste that into your code for me if you could. So I gave you basically it's this set of code that I have we did the character set, we did the viewport already, so the last 3 lines is basically what we need with it. Let me show you what I gave you, right? So let me copy this in a second here. Let me show you. I believe I gave you this. This is what I gave you from the. It looks like this. So there's no need to redo these two lines, correct? So if you could just grab the last 3 lines of code, the style sheets coming from an external file, and the 2 JavaScript. So Control C, copy it, and paste that here for me underneath right here. And indent in, make sure it's properly aligned so it's readability with it. So I'm going to tighten up this code to look like this. This is all you're going to have in here with it. That's all you're going to have right now. Okay, I'm going to leave this up here for a second. I would like for you to make sure everything looks exactly like this. If you want to pause the video, this is the time to pause the video, and compare your notes, your visual code to my visual code before you move forward on this thing. Okay, so let's get into the body section of the code, assuming that you have everything looking like what I have and I gave you up here with it. Let's get into the body section of the code right now with it. Everything starts out with a div tag. A div tag is basically the container, and you're going to use the class. The first one we're just going to do, I'm going to show you how it looks like as a container fluid. And then we're going to change it, and we're going to do just a container so you can see the difference between the two. So the div class with it has the container. And if the moment I type in container dash fluid, and then I'm going to come to the right of this. So this, and then it closes my div tag. Come in between. I'm just going to do let's do an H1. And I want to say first Bootstrap page with let's do this. Let's do this class call. I want to paste that underneath it like that, so so we see that, right? And then I'm gonna hit that, and now I'm gonna do a paragraph tag. Let's give it some. This is some text for placeholder. Okay, so some text that looks like this. Now, save this. Save this. So we're going to look at this. This is your container fluid. We're going to save it. Control S. Saves it. Right mouse click on it. Select Open Live Server. And if you look at it through a live server, hopefully it defaults to your, and this is what it looks like, kind of like right now with it. You haven't done much to it, all right? Give me a second here. And you could see nothing has done much to this thing right now with it. Matter of fact, let's give it some more text in here so we can have something to work with right now. I'm just going to move this browser to the right side over here, and well, let me move it over here. I want to let go for a second with it, and go back to your code for me. And again, you are in between your div tag. I'm going to give this a little bit more description as another paragraph tag inside of this thing with it. So let's say paragraph. The dot container fluid class provides a full width spanning the entire width of the viewport, which is the browser. Alright, so Control S saves it. I think if you want to set your autosave right here with it, that will autosave it every time you finish it with it, so you don't have to Control S every time. And then let me move this to the right hand side over here so we can see the code and the output of the browser, or else it just makes it a little bit more hard with it. So I kind of show you both and what's going on in this code with it as well. Okay, so this is what it looks like in here with it. If you want to come down and give you a little bit more how this page looks like, if you notice everything is bumped to the left and top with it as well. Alright, it's going to get better. Bear with me. And then let me maximize this right here. We're going to go in and we're going to actually change this code right now to a container. Alright, so this is a container we're about to change to for you to see the difference between the two with it. So that was the container fluid. Now we're going to all we need to do is to change removing the dash fluid here, and I need to change this text right here as well, right? So remove the dash fluid in my text, remove the dash fluid here. Remember now, I don't change anything in my CDN. Provides a full provides the does not. Okay, change this text here. It says does not provide a full length spanning the technical viewport with it. Again, that saves it. And if you want to pull your browser to the, and you could see give me a second. Of course, I forgot to change my class name here. So let me do this on the fly here, so you could see. Let's scroll down here and take out the dash fluid in here. All right, and take that out with it. I'm going to take that out with it, and the moment you should see that I changed that, and it goes to Bootstrap with it, and you notice it's in the center of this as well. So just by doing that, let me show you what the code, what that looks like with it. And I just changed the class from class fluid, dash fluid, to container. And that's what happens with it. I want to stop the video. This is the end of part 4. So make sure this is where we left off before we continue part 5.